Good morning, children. Sai Ram. I welcome you all to the online class of economics. Children, today I'm again going to continue with the same chapter, that is chapter number 4, and the name of our chapter is Consumers Equilibrium under Indifference Curve Analysis Approach. Children, this is the third video of this chapter, and in the previous two videos, we have finished up with some of the most important topics of this chapter. So we have already finished up with the indifference curve analysis as different from the utility analysis. I mean, we have already learned the difference between the indifference curve analysis as well as the utility analysis. And second, we have already understood the assumption of indifference curve of consumers equilibrium. I mean, what are the assumptions we are going to understand while discussing this consumers equilibrium point. And indifference set and indifference curve we have already finished, and we have also finished up the properties of an indifference curve. I have already explained you that there are five properties of an indifference curve, which the first one is indifference curve slopes negative, and higher the indifference curve give higher level of satisfaction, and two indifference curve never intersect each other, and thereafter indifference curve neither touches x-axis nor touches y-axis. So this was the topic what we have already understood in the previous two videos. Now today we are going to understand the concept of consumer's budget, the budget set and the budget line, and finally the optimum choice of the consumer, that is consumer's equilibrium point. So children, let us start with our first topic, that is consumer's budget and budget set first. Now children, what is a budget set? Children, budget set refers to all the attainable combinations of two commodities that a consumer can buy with his given income and market prices, such that the combinations of such that the cost of each combination is exactly equal to the money income of the consumer. Suppose a consumer has his income, and with his limited income he is going to consume or is going to buy two commodities. Now whatever the various combinations he can avail with this given money income, the cost of each combination is exactly equal to the money income of the consumer. So this is known as the budget set. Second is the budget constraint. Budget constraint is what? A budget constraint refers to all the combinations of goods and services that a consumer may purchase with his given current prices, or with his given his or her given income. I mean, with his given income and whatever the market price prevailing in the market, the consumer can buy up to that limit of the goods or the commodities with his given money income. I mean, with his money income, he can avail all the combinations which cost is exactly equal to money income of the consumer. So, suppose if consumer has to buy the two commodities, let's say the good X and good Y. So the price of good X will be denoted with PY, and the units of good X is denoted with X1. Similarly, the price of good Y is denoted with PY, and the units of good Y is denoted with um, you can say XY. So the cost of these combinations is exactly equal or to money income of the consumer. It should not be less than, it should not be greater than. It is obviously equal to or greater than the money income. So money income is equal to, or it should be always greater than the cost of the combinations which a consumer can avail with his given money income and the prices prevailing in the market. So, what is budget line basically, children? A budget line is a graphical representation of all possible combinations of two commodities that a consumer can purchase with his given income and market prices, such that the cost of each combination is exactly equal to the money income of the consumer. Children, in the previous video, I have already explained the concept of budget line, whereas I have taken a schedule, and in that schedule we have purchased the two goods like good X and good Y. The price of the good X is rupees you can say 4 per unit, and the price of good Y is rupees 2 per unit. and the money income of the consumer is rupees 24. Now with this given income, a consumer can have six to seven combinations with this money income and the prices prevailing. So whatever the combinations a consumer can avail is exactly equal to the money income of the consumer, and a budget line is basically a locus point of all the combinations of two commodities among which a consumer is indifferent, and whatever the combinations a consumer can have with his money income and the market prices, all the cost of combinations is exactly equal to his money income. So this we have already understood. Now just see here in the line, children. Like suppose a consumer is consuming apples, which is denoted with E, which has been shown on x-axis, whereas the bananas will be showing on y-axis. So here this like B, J, I, H, G, F, E and A. This A and B is basically known as the budget line, or it is also known as the price line, and all these combinations like J, H, J, I, H, G, F, all these combinations lies in the budget line, which is in the paying capacity of the consumer. This is called an attainable or an affordable combinations which a consumer can have with his given money income and market prices. So basically it is known as the locus point of all these combinations. Now children, we have already understood with the budget line. Now we are going to learn the change in budget line. Now children, what will be the change occurs in the budget line? So a budget set, or you can say a budget line, uh, shift towards or rotate towards left or right just because of the two reasons, or just because of the two possibilities. Either there is a change in income, or change in income is like if there is an increase in income or if there is an decrease in income, and secondly budget line rotates due to change in the prices of the commodities. Now let us understand both the concept. Children, suppose if there is a change in income, then what will be the shape of the budget line? Children, suppose if a consumer is having only 100 rupees. Now suppose with this 100 rupees a consumer is basically on the budget line, which is representing with m upon p2 n upon p1. In this A diagram you just see uh, the initially budget line is representing with m upon p1 and m upon p2. And since if the you can say the money income of the consumer reduces, like if previously he is having 100 rupees and now suppose he has only 60 rupees, now with this reduction in the money income he can avail less of both the commodities, isn't it? If I have more income, then I have been consume more of both the commodities. Now suppose if my money income reduces, then I should avail less of both the commodities. So in this way the budget line will shift towards leftward, and this second budget line, which is representing with m1 p1 and m dash p2, this budget line is known as the new budget line, which is being drawn up as the customer's income, as the consumer's income fell down. And on the very right hand side there is a diagram which is representing with B. Now suppose if the money income of the consumer increases, previously he has only 100 rupees, but now his money income increases with 200 rupees. Now with this 200 rupees he can avail more of both the commodities. So if he can avail more of both the commodities, then the budget line will shift it towards right, and the initial budget line is m1 m divided by p1 and m divided by p2, and now the new budget line shift towards right, which is representing with m dash p1 m dash p2. So this is the change in the budget line due to change in the income of the consumer. Now suppose children, if the prices of the commodity increases or decreases, then the budget line will definitely changes. Now suppose if my previously budget line is m1 p1 and m1 p2, This one is M1 dash P1 and M1 P2. I mean M1 M divided by P1 and M divided by P1. This is a this is the initial budget line. As such, children, the prices of suppose the good uh, 2, suppose the price of good 1. Now see, children, the price of good x, the price of good x is representing on x axis, whereas the good y or the good second is representing on the y axis. Now suppose if the price of good x decreases, previously it is like suppose 4 rupees and now it is decreases to 2. Now the new price per unit of good x is 2 rupees per unit, which was previously rupees 4 per unit. Now with this reduce in the prices of good x, the consumer can avail or can purchase more of good x. So that is why, children, the budget line starts with M dash P1, but M dash, I mean, it is start with here at M dash P2, and now just because of decrease in the prices, our budget line will shift towards right. If the budget line, I mean, the budget line, the price of let's say good X increases, if the price of good X decreases, then I can avail more of good X. So that is why the the budget line will shift towards or it's rotate towards right. In this way we are going to consume more of good X, what we are consuming previously. But suppose if the price of good X increases, it will be increases, like previously it is 4 rupees per unit, but now it is increases up to 6 rupee per unit. Since the price of good X increases, I can have less of good X. So that is why with this increasing prices, my budget line will shift it towards left. So that is why in the first diagram it is shift towards left. So this is a new budget line where a consumer can avail the same units of good Y, but he can avail less units of good X this time than before. Now, children, let us start with the consumer's equilibrium using indifference curve analysis approach. Now, we are going to understand the consumer's equilibrium under ordinal approach or under indifference curve and budget line approach. So, children, I have already explained you the concept of consumer's equilibrium in utility analysis approach also, whereas we have understood the concept of consumer's equilibrium in single commodity case as well as the two commodity cases. So in utility analysis, a consumer can be in equilibrium position with the consumption of single goods, then with the consumption of single commodity. That is, the marginal utility in terms of money is equal to the price paid of the commodity. So if this condition is satisfied, then the consumer will be at equilibrium in single commodity case. And for two commodities, two or more commodities, we will see the conditions when MUX upon PX is equal to MUY upon PY is equal to MUM. If this condition is satisfied, then the consumer will be at equilibrium position. Now we are going to learn the consumer's equilibrium in ordinal approach. So children, before we just understand the concept of consumer's equilibrium, let us see the definition first. So children, consumer equilibrium refers to the situation when a consumer is getting maximum satisfaction from his given income and market prices, such that he can get more satisfaction, or his satisfaction should be higher in that combinations. So children, in indifference curve and budget line approach, a consumer will be at equilibrium when budget line is tangent, I mean touches to the highest combination of indifference curve. So according to the indifference curve analysis, the conditions required to achieve the consumer's equilibrium point is the first. I mean the following conditions should be satisfied to attain the consumer's equilibrium. Now first condition says that where the slope of an indifference curve is equal to the slope of budget line. Children, the slope of indifference curve is MRS XY, I mean marginal rate of substitution of good X and good Y, and the slope of budget line is Px upon Py. So if MRS XY is equal to Px upon Py, then the consumer will be at an equilibrium position. Now second combination says at the equilibrium point, I mean the E point, the budget line is tangent to the highest combination of budget line. And my third condition is, children, if uh, indifference curve must be convex to the point of its origin, I mean MRS XY must be falling. So if these three conditions are satisfied, then the consumer will be at an equilibrium position. Now let's see one diagram. Children, to find out the consumer's equilibrium point, you just see this diagram. Children, the consumption of good X we are showing on the x-axis, where the consumption of commodity Y we are representing on the y-axis. Now A and B, this is the budget line, and the combinations E, F, and G. These are the points which lies on an indifference curve, and it also lies on the budget line. So the condition of the consumer's equilibrium is the marginal rate of substitution, that is xy, is equal to the price paid of good X divided by price paid for good Y, or you can say the slope of budget line is equal to slope of indifference curve. Now children, just see, accord, as per this budget line, children, F, E, and G, these are the points which touches you can say the budget line. These are the combinations which lies on an indifference curve, and all these combinations touches the budget line. Children, I have already explained you that whatever the combinations which lies on the budget line is known as the attainable combinations, which a consumer can avail with his given income and market prices. And we have already understood the concept of an indifference curve, that any points which lies on indifference curve give the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. Now here in this diagram, just see, um, the point E and G. This two combinations, or this two combinations basically lies on indifference curve as well as on the price line. I mean this F and G combinations lies first on an indifference curve, which gives the same level of satisfaction to the consumer, and both these combinations also lies on the budget line, which shows that both these combinations are the affordable combinations for the consumer, which a consumer can avail with his given money income. So F and G, both the point touches the indifference curve, as both touches the budget line as well as an indifference curve. I mean both these combinations F and G lies on indifference curve as well as on the budget line, which shows the paying capacity of the consumer. Now we have again a combination E, which lies on the budget line as well as on an indifference curve second. We have another point, which is another combination which is representing with H, and this H combinations lies on an indifference curve 3. Now children, we have F, E, and G. These are the points by which both the conditions are satisfied. I mean the slope of indifference curve is equal to the slope of budget line. I mean MRS XY is equal to Px upon Py. This combination is satisfied at point E also, at point F also, and at point G also. And at the second point, at the equilibrium point, indifference curve is tangent to the highest combination of budget line. So children, just see, here in the budget line, F, E, and G lies on the budget line, whereas F and G lies on indifference curve, and E combinations lies on indifference curve 2. Children, we have already understood with the properties of an indifference curve that higher the indifference curve give higher level of satisfaction to the consumer. Since whatever the satisfaction a consumer is getting at point E and G are same, because this combinations lies on indifference curve, and I have already understood that indifference, any combinations which lies on indifference curve 1 gives the same level of satisfaction. Now just see the point E. This is a point which lies on higher the indifference curve. I mean, it is lies on IC2, and according to the properties of indifference curve, higher the indifference curve give higher level of satisfaction. So whatever the satisfaction a consumer is getting at E point is more than the satisfaction what is getting at point F and at point G. So the consumer will be at equilibrium at point E, where a consumer's equilibrium condition MRS_XY is equal to Px upon Py is satisfied, and at this point a consumer is getting more satisfaction from the consumption of both the commodities, which is in affordable combination or which is in paying capacity of the consumer. So therefore the consumer will be at equilibrium at point E. So the consumer is in equilibrium at point E, where budget line AB is just tangent to IC2. This is our equilibrium position of consumer under ordinal approach. So children, we have already understood a consumer chooses a combination of goods that will maximize the satisfaction they can achieve, giving his limited income available to him. So the maximizing combinations must satisfy the two conditions. The first is it must be located on the budget line. So children, I have already explained you that the point or the combination E lies on the budget line, and the second is must give the consumer the most preferred combinations of good and services. Now a consumer will be mostly preferred these E combinations as compared with F and G, because F and G combinations lies on indifference curve 1, whereas whereas the E combinations lies on IC2, and just because of the property of indifference curve, higher the indifference curve give higher level of satisfaction to the consumer. So whatever the satisfaction he is getting from IC2 on E combination is more than whatever the satisfaction is getting from IC1, that is F and G point. So children, this is basically the consumer's equilibrium point, what we have already understood now. So children, again there is one possibilities, there is one exception where what will happen if MRS_XY is greater than Px upon Py. As we have already understood the consumer's equilibrium in utility analysis approach, we have also understood there also if MUX upon PX is greater than PX MUY upon PY, then what should a rational consumer do? Same here children, if MRS_XY is greater than Px upon Py. So if MRS_XY is greater than Px upon Py, it means a consumer is getting more satisfaction from the consumption of good X as compared with good Y. So in order to retain back with the equilibrium point, a consumer should consume more and more units of good X, so that from the every additional consumption of good X, his marginal rate of substitution will getting down, and it will decrease up to a point where MRS_XY becomes equal to Px upon Py. So if MRS_XY is greater than Px upon Py, then a rational consumer will consume more and more units of good X, so that his marginal rate of substitution for every additional units goes on decreasing, and it will decrease up to the point where MRS_XY becomes equal to Px upon Py. Similarly, the second the equation says that if MRS_XY is less than Px upon Py. So children, if MRS_XY is less than Px upon Py, it means consumer is getting more satisfaction from the consumption of good Y as compared with good X. So again, in order to come back again with the equilibrium point, a consumer should consume more and more units of good Y, so that from every additional consumption of good Y, his marginal rate of substitution fell down, and it will goes down up to the point where MRS XY again becomes equal to PX upon PY. So this is the condition what should be help you out in understanding the concept of consumer's equilibrium. So children, so far what we have understood first with the budget set, thereafter budget constant, thereafter the definition of budget line, and finally we have understood the concept of consumer's equilibrium under indifference curve analysis approach. We have already understood that a consumer will be at equilibrium under ordinal approach when the marginal rate of substitution for good x is equal to px upon py. I mean, when the slope of indifference curve is equal to the slope of budget line. This is the first condition to be satisfied for attaining the consumer's equilibrium under ordinal approach. Now second, you can say the condition is at the equilibrium point E, an indifference curve is tangent to the attainable combinations of budget line. It means that consumer's equilibrium point E can be attained when indifference curve touches the budget line at any combinations, which gives him the higher level of satisfaction to the consumer. And the third combination says that indifference curve must be convex to the point of its origin. It means MRS must be falling. So these are the conditions which has to be satisfied for attaining the equilibrium position. So children, I hope that today's lecture will get you understand the concept of consumer's equilibrium under ordinal approach. In the next video, we are going to start with our next chapter, that is chapter number 5, and the name of our chapter is demand. So children, that's all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you so much for watching, and Sairam.